Mark Robinson chairing the meeting. Present, we have Commissioner Turbuck and Commissioner Horsley, along with Office Manager Nash, and we hope to be joined by the superintendent soon. So, as a tradition, we'll start with some public comment. Before that, I would say that this is the first meeting that I'm chairing for this fiscal year, and uh, I'm taking over from a very heavy gavel passed by past Chair Turbuck. I really want to thank him for a great job that he did as a not quite a rookie, but almost a rookie, and did a wonderful job in bringing things forward for us. So I appreciate that.
Here, here.
The other thing I want to say, I was hoping Chris would be here to say it. Um, we are in the water business, but we're also in the education business. And I want to make sure that all the commissioners understand that, particularly when we have public involvement here, that we don't want to use jargon. We don't want to use acronyms. If we do, we want to explain what they are to people. And I will try to do that myself and encourage others to skip a beat and remember that not everybody is an expert in this field. I certainly am not, and have learned by doing. But it's important. We want to encourage people to attend these meetings, and one way to do that is make sure that's just not all inside baseball for water people. So I'm going to call for some public comment now. I see one hand raised. DJ McKinnon, would you like to address us? You're muted there, DJ.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go. Let's see, I got the video started and I'm unmuted, I think.
Yes, we can
Oh,
hear you.
okay. Okay, great. Okay. Well, first of all, thank you very much for letting me make some comments here. I noticed that you're going to be talking about nitrogen reduction systems tonight. And when I was aware of that, I sent an email to Chris and just let him know that we put in a nitro system a few years ago at our house at 910 Main Street when we did a renovation of it. Prior to doing that, I actually spent quite a bit of time with the Clean Water Coalition and also went over to I'll call it the septic test facilities that they have over at the old Otis Air Force Base to try to educate myself. My background is I am a civil engineer. I'm in the real estate development business. We've done a lot in the wastewater sector over the years. So I really wanted to get comfortable, but this denitrification system we put in is, I think, by far the best one that's out there. It was actually relatively simple to put in as far as a new installation. They also can be installed if there's somebody wanted to modify their system, both the installation as well as the operational and maintenance side of it. On ours, they test the nitrogen levels every 3 months, and they report that into the state. The system itself, basically, the wastewater comes out of the house, goes into a holding tank, traditional like Title V holding tank, separates the liquids and solids, and then from there, instead of going directly into a leaching field, it goes into this. They call it a nitro tank. It looks just like a holding tank. It has limestone and wood chips, and then it introduces air and then it has a little bit of bubbling action because it introduces air with a fan. And that creates a chemical reaction that turns the nitrogen in its liquid form to nitrate in a gas form, which is completely harmless. We're all breathing it right now. And in doing that, it takes the nitrogen out of the waste load as it goes out into your leaching field. In my case, the reports show that they've been averaging a 96% reduction in nitrogen. So it's huge. And the added cost when I put in a new system for that component was about $15,000. And then my operational cost is this fan that you operate. It's a 100-watt fan. Basically, it's like running a 100-watt light bulb. And that's about it. They come out, once a year to do an inspection. They charge a nominal fee. and then they do the testing. But it's a very basic system, but very effective. It actually saves your kind of leaching field long term, because the water quality of what's leaving the nitrogen tank is much better than what would typically go into a leaching field. So it almost gives your leaching field, unlimited lifespan. So there is a little bit of definitely an economic benefit there. But more importantly, we're relatively close to the water with our system. It's helping us with our harbor, and we all love the harbor, the water, but it also many of these systems also impact the groundwater, which we draw our wells from. So I just want to let you know, if anybody wants to actually come over and see our system, I'm happy to show that. Like I say, I did send an email to Chris and included with it kind of a couple of diagrams that I have that show how these systems are constructed. It is kind of one of the key systems that the Clean Water Coalition recommends. They've put in quite a few at this point. But if we really want to get serious about reducing the nitrogen load, I think the prospects of getting sewer are way out there. And in the interim, I think encouraging people to install this type of system makes a lot of sense. If anybody wants any more information, wants to talk to me about the system we have, happy to do it at any time.
That's great, TJ. Thank you very much. I'm going to come to Scott in just a second. You should know, DJ, that we're holding a meeting with the Civic Association on the 19th of August. And that will be at the Federated Church. What time is it, Jen? 7? Do you know? 7:30? You're muted there. Any case, it's a topic that our board has been very keen to explore. We were lucky enough to have Commissioner Horsley, who is a big fan of the nitro, I know, also chairing the town's wastewater advisory committee. So, Scott, would you like to comment?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Although you stole all of my thunder,
Okay.
I wanted to and
Find some new thunder.
thank you for doing that. But yes, thank you for being here and those comments. And obviously, firsthand experience and testimonials like the one you just gave, in my view, are the most valuable. So if I was going to also mention the August 19th meeting, we would love to have you be there, and we're going to be looking for a lot of input and comments. So if you're available, it would be great to have you say that, because right now there's 6 of us. That night there'll be maybe 60 or more of us. So it would be a much better venue. But I agree with everything you said. I've been looking at this system for a while, and I think it's a real opportunity for the town to provide a much more cost-effective approach to solving some of our water quality problems. So thank you for being here, and thank you for your...
Yeah, I would love to be there on the 19th. Unfortunately, I've just checked the flight time, in fact, because I am on a flight from the West Coast back here. It lands in Logan at 9:49 p.m. So literally I'm going to be flying at that point. I was going to say if it was available by Zoom, I could do that, but even
Well,
that.
another option, I don't know, Jen, this is being recorded, correct?
It will be, yes.
Would you be willing to allow us to take a clip of what you just said and use it as a testimonial?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm again following up that anybody that wants to call I'll give you my cell phone number. It's 617-429-5025. Feel free to call me, pass it along to other people if they want to come over our house and see the system. Happy to do that as well. And then, feel free to email that I sent Chris, because I do include with that email the information that we have. I had the 2024 results summarized and stamped by the engineer, as well as I'm just waiting for the 2025, as well as a diagram that shows the system that I think most people, even lay people, can read it and understand it. But that's kind of a summary of the technical side of it, which shows the 96% reduction in nitrogen and gives kind of a concept plan that shows how this thing is laid out, but once it's installed, they work great, they function great. We haven't had any problems at all.
That's a great summary. Really appreciate it. And we encourage you to, join us again. You might want to be a water commissioner someday.
If my day job, I'm trying to get that to slow down in the next by the end of by the end of 2026. So I may have more time at that point. So,
Okay.
all
Good
right.
to know.
Thank you.
Jen, you were on mute when I was asking what time that meeting was on the
I
19th.
believe it's 7 o'clock, but I can double check.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is. It is. 7
Confirming
o'clock.
we're at Expo Street, at the church, not at Freedom Hall.
Yes.
Yep. Is there other public comment?
So also with us tonight is Mr. and Mrs. Nichols from Coolidge Street, and they are our the leak adjustment that I have under new business down here,
Okay.
the leak adjustment request.
We could take that out of order if that's
Thank you.
useful for them.
So
Thank you for
may-
coming, Mr. and Mrs. Nichols.
Glad to do it.
So Jen can explain that we have a policy that we try to stick to in terms of dealing with these situations. It's unfortunate. Nobody likes to waste water, including the homeowner that's being asked to pay for it. But we try to be sympathetic to one mistake or one accident. And Jen can explain this process unless she's already done that for you.
So you may remember last month, the commissioners approved a leak adjustment for their cottage on Coolidge Street that experienced a leak around the week of Christmas and was discovered when we did the meter readings in January. And then I notified the Nichols of what I was seeing as far as usage goes. And obviously it affects both their bills from the July to December period last year, as well as the January to June period this year. So they're back before us at this meeting. It is the same leak that we discussed at the June meeting for the July to December period. It's just the impact of what happened in the January to June section. So I did the same calculation, the 317,000 gallons that was used minus double their highest, which was 4,000. If you double that, it's 8,000. They're still responsible for their minimum use. And then we would, if approved, apply our cost rate for the pumping and distribution of the water to provide relief of $7,670.95 if you approve. I invited the Nichols here tonight so that they could answer any questions that you might have, as we know that this is coming before the board for a second time, although it's the same leak. So that they could.
Commissioner Horsley?
Yeah, what's the cause of the leak? Why did this happen a second time?
We've been there for many, many years, and Spencer Hallett drains our water and the town turns off the water and all this is taken care of. We do it by email with his office, and we were told by his office that they would drain it and so forth, and they had received our request. So we assumed that they had drained it, but they hadn't. It had somehow been missed. So the water was still active when the hard freeze came on in the winter. And we didn't find out about it until the water usage came to our attention. So
it was the same leak. It was not a different leak.
Mr. Chairman, I'm going to abstain from this proceeding because I'm a good friend of Spencer's. I don't want to get involved in this.
Okay. So we obviously take people at their word. Do you have any email exchanges or any records that show the
Yes,
exactly.
and that was actually included with the packet from last month.
I remember seeing something like that. Right.
Yeah, I have all the documentation. I can send you tomorrow.
Okay. Commissioner Churbuck, any comments? You're muted.
Sorry. Yeah, it's a very unfortunate occurrence. It's a lot of water, and it's a whopper of a bill. But accidents happen.
Right.
And, I voted for the relief on the initial part of the leak adjustment last month, and I would be inclined to do so again tonight.
Okay. Would you like to make that motion?
Yeah, I move that we grant the relief for the leak adjustment to the Nichols for 34 Coolidge Street per the calculation given by Jen Nash.
Okay, it's been moved and I'll second it in the absence of Commissioner Horsley. To approve this relief request, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That's
Thank you very
that's
much.
approved. So, yeah, with any contractors, as we know, trust but verify, right? So,
Right.
next year, make sure that it happens. You might even ask them to
We will
confirm with you that it's
Yeah.
happened. Okay,
Yeah, we've been there for over 40 years and it's
Right.
never happened before. And our son actually went in and turned on the faucet, but he thought it was drained because no water flowed, but it was because it was frozen. So
yeah.
yeah,
I hope there wasn't any damage to the cottage. It's a
Oh, there
cute
was.
cottage.
there was. Yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, thank you. You're welcome to sit with us some more or enjoy
Okay.
the rest of
And
your evening.
no, we'll probably go away.
Okay.
Should we wait to receive a bill from you at this point now?
So I will make the adjustment to the account tomorrow, and then
Okay.
I will send you a revised bill showing the new total due that 229.55 will be the total due by the end of August.
Okay. And we thank you very much. And I will be triple checking from now on. I
Well,
mean,
that's a good point because you only get one strike in this
Yeah.
relief.
That's right.
The next time we
yeah,
won't be so friendly.
thank you.
So, okay, thank you.
This pretty much wiped out the kitchen and the bathroom in our
Oh
cottage.
dear,
Uh,
yeah.
We've
I'm
had
sure you have
considerable expenses.
bigger fish to fry, yeah.
No, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Is there any other additional public comment? Otherwise, we'll get into our agenda for the evening.
Okay, we'll leave you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So the next would be our meeting minutes, Jen.
Next would be the water quality report. I'm going to share the agenda again, but next would be the water quality.
All right, have we heard from Chris?
He's here.
I'm
Oh.
here now, but can you hear me okay?
Oh,
I'm under a different name. I am.
yes, you are. Okay, all
I'm
right.
incognito, and I apologize. I had to do it real quick, so you can't even see me. Just probably
Okay.
a good idea because I had to run up to my bedroom to do this, and it's hot up here.
All right. Well, we'll try to
Um,
keep the meeting as short as possible.
Yep.
We'll have
Sorry.
a
Yeah.
water quality report and then your superintendent's report.
Okay. Yeah. The water quality report basically is pretty quick. We had no hits at all this week. Everything was fine for the month. And we have done some more sampling for inorganics, secondaries, I think it was, and perchlorate. So we're waiting on response from that for next month. I should have some comments on those. I can give you my report real quick. And any questions on quality? Jen did update you guys asked her to update and make it more, how do I want to say it?
Consistent, and I put
consistent,
footers on it.
Yeah.
And the headers are actually blue, but they didn't scan in blue.
Okay. Well, that looks good and appreciate that.
Um,
Giving people context is important.
Yep.
Yeah.
These numbers mean a lot to some of us here, but not everybody. Go ahead, Chris.
Okay. So,
Oh,
was there any questions at all?
on the water quality, yes, I have.
Yeah.
Chris, a while back, we were having iron and manganese problems in one of the wells. And we had a theory that maybe cutting back and pumping might draw less manganese from the wetland and whatnot. I don't want to know tonight, but I'm just thinking it would be good to maybe at the next meeting, if we could try to do a comparison of what's happened to iron and manganese over time, because I remember we had our engineering proposal to spend a fair amount of money for iron and manganese removal.
Correct.
And we, I think I suggested that maybe we could mitigate this through reduced pumping. So I'm wondering if this is something you guys could take a look at by plotting some water quality data on iron and manganese. I frankly hadn't thought about it until you mentioned this tonight. So would that be possible?
Yeah, I could check and see what we got going for results now. Trying to think. I think
I'm not asking to comment on it tonight, but just
Yeah.
for future meeting.
yeah, I'll put something together. I'll see what I
All
can
right.
do.
Thank you. That'd be great.
All right. So I'll read superintendent's report. Read on July 30th. For the month of June 2024, we pumped 22,817,000 gallons of water. In June of 2025, we pumped 23,029,000 gallons of water, for an increase of 212,000 gallons. Not that much more of an increase than last year, but we have had a dry July right now, so we have been pumping quite a bit of water.
So we've moved from a significant drought to minor drought, is that correct?
Yeah, well, it's not called minor. Yeah, it's called just level 1. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's our levels are still going down every day on that monitoring well that we have. It hasn't hit the point where it has to be over 60 days. But I'm thinking when it does hit that point, I'm going to put out a voluntary water conservation, because just because it's making me a little nervous that we're not getting the rain that we should be getting right now for this month.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking quite a bit about doing it. I talked a little bit about it with Jen about a week ago, and kind of put that as a spot. If it hits that point, it has to be there for 60 days to do a mandatory. So I'm thinking about hitting the voluntary, so that no one ever says to me if it does go to 60 days, well, you never warned us that it was going to happen. So
I know some of the other districts and suppliers are doing odd and even.
yeah, there's a lot of people that are doing that now, because their permits require it as soon as it one or the other. Either if you're in a level 1 drought, or if you're in the monitoring well hits a certain point, they gotta put those out. Ours says that it's both. So yeah.
And which monitoring well are we using?
It's the one over by the high school in Barnstable. Yep.
That's the one that Tom's always talking about.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
So is that for the whole Cape or just the town?
I think it's for the town of Barnstable. So like Sandwich might have a different one.
Okay.
And Down Cape there's a different one. But yeah, that's ours.
Okay.
All right. So under association news, Barnstable County Water Utilities is actually having a trade show in September with a lunch. New England Water Works is offering plenty of classes out there. Mass Waterworks Association is going to be holding a summer expo at Wachusett Mountain in August. And Mass Rural Water is doing their trifecta, where they do a tasting for their Mass Rural Water tasting, and classes, and like a little barbecue afterwards, something like that. So they have a whole day planned out there. Under general discussion, I don't have a lot. We did have one new service go in, one replacement service, and one relocation. We didn't have any leaks at all. We finally got our revised W-2, or
Yay.
yeah, it finally came in halfway through the month. Yeah. I just, for your own knowledge, we just found out actually tonight there was a new treasurer hired, assistant treasurer hired at the meeting Monday night. So there's going to be a new assistant treasurer starting, I think, August 1st.
For the district.
Correct.
Yeah.
August 4th.
4th? Okay.
Yeah.
And is there still talk about getting a new payroll service?
I haven't heard talk of it again. I will talk. I have to talk to Ray anyways, have a little meeting with him, talk about some financial stuff. So I'll mention something at the same time.
Well, I mean, like we just talked about with the leaks, one mistake can be accepted, but 2 years in a row, it doesn't make any sense
Correct.
to me as
Correct.
an
And
employer.
I know that the treasury committee asked him to do it at the meeting one night when I was there, when we presented our budget to them. So
Right.
if he hasn't, then if he dropped the ball, it's on him right now. So I'll just give him a little friendly reminder.
Yeah.
The last thing was is we did get our results back from the test wells over on Newtown and on Mariner Circle. That is in the packet there. I sent it out to you guys this afternoon.
Yeah.
For you to review. Tom Cambereri couldn't be with us this evening. He had a prior commitment, but he did send a memo out that's a little bit of a summary of it. We actually look much better than it has the last two times. I don't know if you want to show Jen, if you can.
Yep.
Put that back up.
Sorry, I have to rotate my thing.
That's okay.
I will add that at Monday's meeting, they said that the new assistant treasurer was heavily involved with payroll at Cape Air for more than 100 employees. So maybe with the new assistant treasurer coming on board, they'll have some recommendations for payroll company changes.
Good.
Yeah.
Which part do you want to see, Chris?
We want to just go to the results on page, I think it's 4 or 3. This one right here, yeah.
Okay.
If you look there, we had a lot of non-detects. We paid extra money to have this, I can't remember, they called it the 1033B or something like that form, where we tested for 40, so many different chemicals, and none of them showed up really at all. We had one in the first Mariner Circle one that it's the PFOA, and it's actually down to 3.77, where it had been as high as, if you look about 5, and everything else was non-detect. And there was none of the PFAS-6 in the Santua Road test, and it was actually only chemical that was not. You can just page that up a tiny bit, Jen.
Yeah.
There's the PFBS there, and that was a 3.48, and that's not even. It's like a hazard index or something like that in that. So they looked incredibly better. According to Tom, he's like, I suggest you just go back to the Old Testament. It could just be done in Barnstable because they didn't have any of the stuff that we looked for. You can't even fingerprint that, really.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Chris, I just want to say thank you for sending the report out in advance. Jen, thank you too, because I did look at it, and this is, in my view, this is money well spent. I think this is a big issue, PFAS, and we're fortunate compared to some of our neighboring water districts on the Cape that we haven't run into a big problem. And we followed up on looked like a semi hotspot, and it's looking better. So I feel very good about this, and I concur with Tom's recommendation that we can now back off to maybe annual sampling, but I do think we should continue on this. I think this is something that we need to stay on top of. And I concur with your report as well, Chris. I think that we're in good shape. Thank you.
Yeah. I was just, while we're talking about Tom a little, I did ask him if maybe he wanted to sit in, give us a call next month so we can be more, we were talking about Station 5 a little bit together, and we wanted him to do maybe some work over there, I guess, some like similar to what he did over on Sampson's Mill Road. We were a little concerned about where some of the nitrates and stuff were coming from over at the test well over there. And you had talked about possibly getting Tom over there to do some work. And just so we can be everybody can be on the same page, have a good talk with him. He might be able to come to the next meeting just so we can discuss what we'd like him to do over there.
Sure. And my other quick thought, Mr. Chairman, is we did a great job upgrading our consumer confidence outreach report to our customers. I would suggest that we add something whenever we publish that again, the fact that we are doing more frequent testing this than required, and we're finding that we're in good shape with PFAS. I think this is something that still is in the news, and the fact that we're doing more testing than required and we're making sure that we're in a good place, I think is a great message to our customers.
Yeah, it's a good point. And I just saw Jen writing it down, putting this little sticky note on next year's. So just to recap, these two wells are located up gradient, flowing down towards our
Yeah, there's a
main
map.
well field.
Sorry for
Yeah.
interrupting. There's a map in this report. You could
Yeah,
scroll.
if you want to scroll up.
There you go, right there.
Okay.
Yep.
So, and you can see station 1, 2, and 4. That's the main well field, and the flow direction is
Yep.
essentially from these two test wells towards the wells. So a question for those of you who know this stuff, these are snapshots in time. If a, a well is showing no real levels today, water is constantly flowing northwest to southeast through those wells. There could be something coming in tomorrow that just hasn't arrived. Is that true?
Correct.
Yeah, 300 to 400 feet per year. So, I think, like Tom says, once a year, I think at this point is okay. But you're right. I mean, something could show up anytime. My concern that day I went out and looked over the hill there at the big pit, was looked like to me like who knows what was dumped there. And the fact that we've done 3 rounds of testing now and it's getting better suggests to me that if there was something there, thank God it was not too bad and it's getting better. But you're right, Commissioner Robinson. I mean, who knows? I mean, something could show up tomorrow. I guess now that you said that, my only question would be, Chris, am I correct in assuming that is Lou Jean Printing's property? Is that right?
No, that was sold,
Okay.
actually. That is owned now by King's Landscaping, and they cleaned it up big time over there. It
Well,
looks
maybe.
pretty nice. They do have stone and stuff like that piled over there for doing driveways and stuff like that. They do keep some stuff there, but they have it in bins and everything. They've done a great job over there.
Well, my only thought, Mr. Chairman, might be maybe Chris could stop over there in his usual friendly way and just let the landowner know that, we were a little bit concerned. We've done some testing and everything looks good. Keep up the good job and be careful with the site.
Yeah.
I think that might be a good, easy reach out where it's not threatening, it's more complimentary, but it also tells them that we have a well here and we're monitoring it, and that might be a good idea.
You might give them this map.
Yep.
Yeah.
Show them put an X on their property.
Would you be comfortable with that, Chris?
Yeah. I actually am in contact with one of the guys right now that works for him over there on another job, so I can ask who to talk to.
I think that might be the best way forward. Just let them know that we're watching this and we're, looks like it's okay, but please keep an eye on, what gets dumped in that pit out back.
Good, thank you. Any other comments on this? Next agenda item.
Agenda item is, okay, old business, source water protection, test wells, CWMP update from Mr. Horsley.
And I will be brief again. We've covered part of it here already, but we do have a really important meeting coming up. Thanks to be supported and hosted by the Civic Association. I've been in touch with some of the other speakers, Rob Steen, Z Crocker, and we'll be talking to Anastasia Rudenko. I'm going to suggest that we do this as sort of a panel discussion. Keep the presentations to no more than 5 minutes and encourage, because 5 minutes times 4 is 20 minutes, and encourage Q&A and discussion. And I've suggested to David that he and I talk at some point. We're going to try to talk tomorrow about putting a more detailed agenda together. This was requested of me by Rob Steen. He wants to know a little more details. What am I doing? How much time do I have? What's going on? So I think if we can specify the agenda, so I will volunteer to work with David on that and specify the agenda and get it to the Civic Association. I had also asked David if he would be so kind to serve as moderator for the meeting, because I think it might be good, because who knows what questions we're going to get. And I think David has a good skill set for exactly doing that.
Would you be willing to do that, Dave?
Yeah, glad to.
Great. On this agenda, it might be good to have 1 or 2 line bios for each person.
Good
Yeah,
idea.
I agree, and I've asked the participants to send me one and also promised them an agenda with some topics that we're likely to hit on so they can prepare. I have asked them not to come with PowerPoint and full-blown presentations, but to anticipate a panel. We've got, right now, I've got 4 RSVPs. You, Scott, Z. Crocker from the Clean Water Coalition, Rob Steen from BW, and from Mass TC, Sarah Wigginton.
And Anastasia has been on maternity leave. She had her second child. I know that. She'll be back next week, but I'm quite sure she'll be willing to show up.
Okay.
I think she would be a useful participant.
I
Great.
think it's
Thank
important
you.
for the commission to introduce this subject and what we've been doing. I can do that.
Okay, great.
And then turn it over to Dave to moderate. And if you're going to include DJ McKinnon's clip, where would you put that?
Yeah, I was going to say, Jen, if you have the technical capacity, which I'm sure you do, to do that, I think what he said tonight was right on the money. And if we could include a 2-minute clip of what he said, would be really valuable. So I think we can patch it in to, my suggestion, Dave, would be to limit the presenters maybe to 2 slides, 1 or 2 slides each.
Sure.
I think some would be valuable, and maybe this could be one of the slides, and it could be a little video clip if you're willing and able to do that, Jen.
I will give it my best shot.
And so the Civic Association will be advertising this as they do most of their forums and meetings. We can do what we can do, which is website and Facebook, I imagine. We don't have any more mailings going out. No, we just got the bills out.
But it
No,
might be
I-
a good idea to give a sort of a cheat sheet to the Civic Association to distribute by email before the meeting so that the attendees or possible attendees will know what we're going to hit, who's going to be there, and why we're going to be talking about this.
Yeah, that's a good idea too.
I can also blast that to anybody in our database with an email address, and I think we've got a little bit over 1,000 email
Wow.
addresses. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. And then I've talked with Amy Fish, who's the property manager for the hall at the church, and have hired her to handle our AV needs for that night. So
Good.
she'll be there as building manager, but doing the AV live broadcast and recording for us.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice, thank you.
Water commissioners hit the big time.
Just also, I apologize for not getting earlier. My computer wasn't connected to my Wi-Fi, so that's why I'm using my wife's iPad actually. And I will forward you guys the information that DJ sent me on the nitro system, and I might even just forward you his whole email because he said that his last test was 95% removal.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll forward you that too when tomorrow, just so you guys can read up on it if you want.
Just FYI, that's better than the Hyannis Central Treatment Plant.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Okay. Next, Jen.
Next on the agenda is, well, the public meeting that we just talked about. The conservation restriction at the school property, which we know you are still working on.
I've had no response from the town yet.
Yeah.
I may have to darken his door.
Who is his?
The town attorney, Tom LaRosa.
Oh, okay.
I think he took this over from Kathleen Conley. So, yeah, I mean, it's discouraging. It's one of these things that's important but not urgent. And so, how do we create a deadline for them to respond?
I would imagine it's also one of these things, if it never happens, it never happens, right? If it slides too far. So
It's not a requirement anywhere
Right,
other than
right.
the good faith of the town in dealing with the district that was going to happen.
Well, I hear this guy, Mark Robinson, has some pretty good experience in getting this kind of stuff done.
Yeah. in certain towns. What's next, Jen?
Enabling legislation update, Mr. Churbuck.
Yes, I have news on House Bill 2258. I'll read into the record that this is the amendment to the enabling legislation for the fire district that would change section 51 to read, the Board of Water Commissioners may recommend improvements on private property with prior written approval of the property owners and seek funds by vote of the district to protect and enhance the quality of the water supply for the benefit of the residents of Katuitt. Good news, we are slowly proceeding. The bill has been reported out by the Local Affairs and Municipalities Committee and referred to the Committee of House Steering Policy and Scheduling on July 10th. On July 23rd, that committee reported that the matter be placed in the orders of the day for the next sitting. House rules were suspended. The bill was read and ordered to a third reading by the House Committee of Bills in the third reading, whose job is to basically proofread, correct, and recommend any changes to make sure that the verbiage is clean and it's constitutional. From there, it goes to a vote if it gets approved. And we have until, I believe, the third Wednesday in November until this session expires. The legislature traditionally takes August off. So we probably won't see any more progress until September, is my guess.
Mr. Horsley.
Yeah. So Dave, first of all, thank you for staying on this. I know this stuff is like, this is typical for legislation, right? It's like takes forever. It's a sausage making process, blah, blah, blah. So thank you for staying on it. You said something about with prior property owners approval. Was that in the original draft or is that something that was added? Because I don't remember that part.
That's what's on the website of the State House.
I'm sorry?
That is what is on the website.
So can you just read that part again? I just want to make sure we're pursuing something that's useful here.
The Board of Water Commissioners recommend improvements on private property with prior written approval of the property owners and seek funds by vote of the district to protect and enhance the quality of the water supply for the benefit of the residents of Katuitt.
Okay.
I think we did talk about this, Scott, that we're not doing things without owner's permission on their property.
All right.
So
Yeah.
I think we have discussed that.
Okay.
It may have been added to the original draft, but it wasn't inserted without our thought about it.
Well, again, David, thank you. I think this will go through because frankly, it's going to just slide through. But I think it's going to give us some really unique and appropriate increased jurisdiction. So thanks again for staying on top of this.
You're welcome. And I'll just make one more point for the record that the other amendment, House 2259, regarding the Historical Society's amendment, has proceeded to the same point in the process.
Okay, good.
Next.
All right, next on the agenda is the leak adjustment that we've already talked about. So now, Chairman Robinson, we are down to the minute approval, and I was just going to share my screen so that they're in front of you.
I will move. I've read them. I will move approval.
I second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the meeting minutes for June. What was it, June?
18th.
June 18th. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. And Dave, if you can stop in to sign it at the office, that'd be good.
I will do that.
As your last act as chairman.
Former chairman.
Former chairman.
Good job again, Jen, on the minutes. That's it's always a relief to know that we don't have to spend a lot of time on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uniquely, we're pretty up to date. A lot of boards are not up to date.
Nope,
So
they're playing catch up.
Next.
That is it. Other than matters not anticipated, any additional public comment and next meeting date? No more members of the public are present.
I just wanted to comment on the recent water bill. I know it's a different format from other years, and I like the feature of comparing it to was it average water use in the same period by other people in the district? Is that what it is? Average?
I
it's-
think it's the American Water Works
Yeah.
average, yeah.
So for the first time in my life, I was very glad to be declared below average. But I like that. It's like when you get your electric bill and it says you use 10% less electricity than this time last year. It's a good way for people to start to think about, wow, I'm higher than average. I gotta look at that and maybe cut back. And going back to the pumping statistics, we might have been premature in thinking that we have bent the curve down with our rate policy. I still think it has much more to do with drought than anything else. I think that's the single biggest factor. Do you agree, Chris?
Yeah, I do know that a lot of people have been putting in wells, though. I mean, still, I had a guy the other day tell me that Jen was the nicest person in the world for suggesting that he put in a well. She saved him about 20 grand, he said. So a year. So that's quite a nice thing.
But we're
So,
not reducing the amount of pumpage despite 100 people now using private wells. So
we must be though. We
so
have to.
maybe it's proving a negative. Maybe our pumping would be much higher.
Yes.
So maybe that, in other words, it's kind of
I,
flat. It's kind of flat to last year, I think, for the summer.
yeah, this is when we look at those bar graphs, it is confusing because we don't have rainfall in there. It's really
Right.
hard to compute. But if you take, what is it, 100 plus wells now, Jen, right?
Yeah,
120 wells.
Yeah.
And if you wanted to put an estimate there, these are people who have irrigation systems for the most part.
Yeah.
And if you just put a number in there, that will be a pretty good evidence as to how much water we're saving. And Chris mentioned earlier today, he's concerned about the water levels next to his screen in the well. So if we had, my guess is if we had not done this, Chris would have been a lot more concerned.
yeah, we're currently in a pretty good condition. It's just the water levels on the monitoring well that we have are declining every day. I get an alert every day that it's dropped another, half an inch, or what you want to say, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say that leads me. I'm wondering, since we have the public's attention at this upcoming event, seems to me out of tonight's meeting there are two really salient points that we might, Commissioner Robinson, if you're going to kick this off. One is we're doing more PFAS testing than we need to, and we're good. And the other one is thank you for working with us on the irrigation wells. That's working too. Those might be two really nice messages before we get into the whole wastewater thing.
Well, I think all the commissioners will have a chance to use a minute of time to
Yeah.
say what they want to say.
Okay.
The only other thing I was going to mention is that um, I'm one of the nerds on the Katuitt Facebook page or Katuitt Connections or whatever, and they were crowdsourcing I need a irrigation installer. Can people recommend somebody? And so I had to put a little comment there saying, well, you can't really do it and use the water supply, so you better check with the water department. Yeah,
I
I don't
missed
know if
that
the
one.
message got across, but it's interesting. It's like anything else. How do you get information? It's just a constant struggle. We think we've been good about trying to get this policy out, but there's always new people in town. You don't know how they're understanding the situation. But Chris, you would agree that we've had good cooperation from the installers, telling people that we can't hook you up. I mean, if uh, there's an awful lot of installers, I don't know, are there some that have not gotten a message or?
Yeah, there's a lot of people out there doing irrigation, and you can't get them all, but the local companies that are around here, they know not to hook up. And we do have the citizens on patrol out there. Believe me,
Okay.
if there's something going in, we get a phone call usually, and I'll have to go over. And they'll be like, "No, we're putting a well in," or and everything else. Or one of the guys will have to go over. So, yeah, there's a couple companies out there that, whether they're from off Cape or sometimes when you get 3 or 4 different prices, you bring the cheapest guy in, he has no idea.
Yeah.
They're just starting out maybe or something. So we do tell anybody that we haven't seen before that there's none allowed in Katuitt. And
We hand out the policy with every new service application. I try and tell people when I'm talking to them about the closings on their properties, the real estate agents know we're getting the word out as best we can.
Good.
Is
Yeah.
once a year kind of email or letter to all the irrigation companies worthwhile doing? Just a reminder.
How would you find them?
I
Yeah.
don't know. Sounds like we know a lot of them.
We had a
Those
list
aren't
of
the ones
like,
we're concerned about. We're concerned about the guy
Yeah.
from Plymouth that doesn't know anything.
right.
I think we sent out about 80 letters originally, and I don't know if that really made a difference. It made a bit difference with like the Outlander and Joyce and the big companies that pay
Let
attention,
me ask
but
a question this way. Have we caught anybody putting one in that shouldn't have?
I will say yes, and they've had to put wells in.
yeah.
So after the
We
fact,
will, yeah. We give them the letter and say it's illegal. You're gonna have to drop a well here if you want to use it, or just not use it at all. You're not hooking it up to the town water.
how many of those have we come across, Chris?
I would say 3.
Okay.
3 since it's been installed.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
All right.
Okay, yes. Dave.
Sort of on the same topic, I wondered what my fellow commissioners' thoughts were on the Cape Cod Commission report on water rates
Oh yeah.
use on Cape Cod, and whether it might be a good idea to put that on our portion of the district website or perhaps include in a future Civic Association newsletter. I thought it was very complimentary.
Yeah, I was asked to review the draft. Frankly, it offended my English major sense.
You gotta get past that, man.
And I just stopped. So
Have you been reading
anyway,
president's messages?
I don't think I think we should think about that. Let's think about that next time, Dave. I'd want to look at it again. I never went through the whole thing.
I think it's an interesting point, Dave, because I didn't read it closely, but it did strike me that it did give us a call out a little bit. And isn't it true when you went to speak to the town council a while back? It was a pretty big, I think we're doing something pretty unique here.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
also think that there's that, we are the outlier on our rate, and I'm not sure we want to telegraph that yet.
I had a call yesterday from somebody with the town of Chatham that works with the Board of Selectmen and reports on their water usage. They also have an irrigation ban in place, no new irrigation systems. And she was asking us how we manage the policy, what our penalty rates are and things like that, because they're having trouble enforcing. Like, how do you know? How do you know who has connected a new irrigation system to the public supply? I said, we monitor them. We monitor usage of everybody. So, and we drive around and we look when we're doing leak detection, we look for new systems going in, but they also have an option to have just an irrigation meter. And I'm not sure that it's an option. I think they're trying to enforce it. And that meter bills at their highest rate tier, but their highest rate tier is $10 per unit, not $37.50 like ours. So we had a long conversation about our rates and how, so we are standing out with other districts for our policy.
Yeah. Let's just think about it some more before we take that action.
okay.
We think we agreed that we would not meet in August because of the Civic Association meeting.
Correct.
So we would pick a date in September, and the third Wednesday in September is
17th.
the 17th. which is fine for me. Gents,
Works for me.
For
I
me,
have a doctor's appointment in Boston that afternoon, so I prefer a different one if we could.
the 24th.
that also works.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. So September 24th, Wednesday at 5:45, the Katuitt Water Commission will meet again. And meanwhile, we will join the Civic Association on August 19th at 7 p.m. at the Federated Church to talk about wastewater planning. Okay.
Sounds good.
Is there anything else, or can I have a motion to adjourn?
Can I just ask about logistics for that night? Like, is somebody compiling all the PowerPoint presentations and Amy's just gonna broadcast one? Or how are we? Maybe you can let me know how you want to do things that
Let
night.
me know your preference, because I haven't emailed the attendees asking them to prepare, et cetera. So if you
Okay.
would like them to send the slides in ahead of time, let me know. And
Okay.
It's better to put it all in one PowerPoint
Yeah,
than trying to
Dave,
put one
Dave.
PowerPoint to another.
agree.
Dave, you and I will talk about this tomorrow, but my suggestion would be to limit it to no more than 2 or 3 slides each and
Sure.
have them submitted to a central person to have one show.
Okay. Well, that's what we'll do.
Motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Motion is adjourned at 6:42.
Aye.
Look at you.
Thanks all.
Thank
See
you.
later.
Great. Have a good night.
Thank you, guys.